Good morning. All right, so what we are doing today is going on a bit of a drive because we're starting in northern Kentucky, and then we're going all the way down to Red River Gorge. So that requires us to go all the way down past Lexington and then keep going for a little while. And we're going to, well, a place I've been 1.5 million times, which is Oxer Ridge. So the plan for today is to take the Oxer Ridge Trail out to the ridge, then go to Courthouse Rock, and then go down the valley to the river, walk up, well, it's more of a creek, walk up the creek, there's a trail there, and then go up to Double Arch, take some photographs at the ridge, take some photographs at Courthouse, and then take some photographs at Double Arch, and that'll be it. And I'll wrap up and head back, because the nice thing is it makes just a big loop. It's about 5 to 6 miles, erring on the 5-mile side. Yeah, so it should be a fun hike today. Hopefully the humidity won't absolutely kill me, but that remains to be seen. I've packed plenty of water and supplies and stuff. Alright, we are here at the trailhead after quite a long journey, but there is one thing. I'm finally back in Kentucky, which means there's a couple of things. Obviously going to the Gorge is one of them. This isn't a Kentucky thing, but I also like Cincinnati style chili, so that's, you know, a bonus. And I have brought with me an ale 8 to celebrate finally getting back to Oxer Ridge, because it's normally closed when I'm here in the winter. Alright, let's get to the trail. One of the I guess ironic things about hiking this trail today is that when I was living in Lexington, this is at least what I'm doing today in terms of the loop. I used to consider it to be kind of a very long, difficult hike. Now, after being in New Hampshire and doing some 4,000 foot mountains, 5 miles and 1,000 feet of elevation gain does not sound that bad. Not saying it's going to be a walk in the park, but I know I've done a lot worse, so let's see how it goes. I figure with me being in New Hampshire for so long that, not saying I don't have people who aren't familiar with Kentucky, but it is more than likely that I picked up at least a couple of people who are unfamiliar with Kentucky, and in particular the Red River Gorge area. So here's just a very quick rundown. So Red River Gorge is part of a larger national forest called the Daniel Boone National Forest, and it stretches all the way down into Tennessee, and I want to say it goes all the way up into like West Virginia, but don't quote me on that one. Anyway, so in particular, Red River Gorge is the Red River Gorge geological area. And the reason it's the Red River Gorge should be obvious. It's because of the Red River. But why is it called the Red River? Well, it's because if you look around, I'll show you. You've got all this red sandstone. And so what happens is, of course, it rains, the sandstone erodes, and then it goes into the river, and it turns the river red. So that's why it's the Red River. Now, I was interested to learn a while back that this isn't obviously the only Red River, but there's a, I guess, more famous one out in, I think it's like Utah, Arizona, you know, out in the desert to the west of the United States. So this isn't potentially the only Red River Gorge, but it is the only one in Kentucky. So And it's a relatively small part of the Daniel Boone National Forest. Something else I feel important to mention is that while there is a lot of, hiking and camping and canoeing, kayaking, that kind of stuff at Red River Gorge, what it is, I guess, most well known for in terms of outdoor activity is actually rock climbing. Now, of course, another thing with Red River Gorge is that you have stunning views that are relatively accessible, right? You're not walking up Musalake or anything like that. Actually, this trail is on a ridge mostly, so I'm doing a lot of ups and downs, but they're very minor. It's not like when you're going up a 4,000 footer where it's fine, a little up, a little down, and then up straight for 3 miles or so, which makes for a less exhausting hike, because while you're on the flat points, you have a chance to recover from those inclines and declines. Alright, so we've made it to Oxer Ridge. I'm sitting in my old spot in the middle of the ridge, overlooking, I think that's Raven's Rock if I remember correctly. And then behind me is Double Arch, where we're headed later on, and then further on down the trail is Courthouse. Courthouse is only like a quarter mile away, so it's not like it's a long hike to get there. And then we'll go down after Courthouse into the valley, back up, around Double Arch, and then up to Double Arch, and then it's all just heading out. So gonna rest up here, take some photos, and hopefully we get some. All right, moving on from Oxer Ridge to Courthouse Rock. Down we descend into the valley, and then when we hit the creek, just a little bit further up the creek, and then we'll practically be at Double Arch. So I'll see you there. Alright, so here we are at Double Arch, and it is an excellent example of another reason that photographers like Red River Gorge, and that is because of the sandstone and the limestone and just the geological makeup of the area. There are a truly impressive number of arches, even if you're only counting the documented arches, not the undocumented or off-trail ones. So, I'm not too big on the arches part, but I love the views, so that's why I'm back out here today. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for this, and I'll see you when I see it.